C-Money, last Thursday, I was unbelievably surprised to meet you and Doodle. Now, again, he kept it a secret that he was going to be at this event. I had told him, "Hey, listen, this is what I'm doing. This is why we can't do the show." And when they walked in, I was like, "Oh my god, it's C-Money and Doodle. This is great. We're actually meeting in IRL, as the kids like to say." And of course, there were other people there. We got a chance to hang out with two of the finest members of this community, King David and Lord Cognito. But I also got a chance to hang out with Greg Miller. Greg was so freaking welcoming. Took my business card. I said, "Hey, Greg, can I give my business card?" He took it. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. Now, is anything actually going to happen? Probably not. I don't think I'm going to be the next guest invited to Kind of Funny Games, though. That would be kind of dope if it happens. So, Paris, if you're listening, I know you're always listening, brother, and we appreciate it here. Kind of throw that into Greg's ear. But getting back to the event, this was the Compulsion Gains event, celebrating and showing off to us for the first time south of midnight. Now, though we can't actually give you any deets to what the gameplay was like, because obviously we're under NDA and we cannot talk about it until the 11th. Then everyone's going to have videos that went to this event, and you'll be able to hear our thoughts. I've actually recorded my video already. I got my gameplay ready, locked and loaded. So next week I'll drop that, as well as my Avowed review, which I'm still playing. But C-Money, this is one of the first events that you were invited to, and I gotta say, even though this is probably my third or fourth event, like you, I had giant stars in my eyes because it felt surreal. Like you guys and gals got to understand something. When you start a YouTube channel, there is no guarantee for success whatsoever. And the fact that we were in the same event, doing, playing the game, getting hands-on, talking with the team one-on-one, and I got to tell you, everyone there was so excited to talk about the game. You can tell that it was authentic through the music. The sets that they brought with them were completely brilliant. And when I cut this down into a video, folks, I'm going to be, obviously there's going to be some gameplay, not of South of Midnight, something else, because I can't talk about it to the 11th, but I'm going to be showing off some of the set pieces that they had there. C-Money, I want to get your thoughts on the event itself. How did you and the missus feel being there? What were your experiences talking to the team? We want to share our experience with you, and now we got a chance to hang out and do that. Break it down for us, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, this was really wild. Excuse me. Like you said, this was our first kind of official event that we went to, and it was really dope. First of all, it was cool as shit to meet you in person, right? We see each other for
it was so awesome, long, brother.
Excuse me. For a year and such, and now it's like we got to actually meet. So that was really dope. That was really, really cool. It was crazy. Like, they did not, like, it's at the Microsoft store in New York. So like, who knew that if you went upstairs, they have like all this extra stuff up there that they actually use. Like, it's not just a store. And it was really dope. We got to meet everybody, met tons of people from the team. Microsoft, like, Compulsion has already released the short, so that's out there in the world. So, which is dope. All those figures that you saw, that's all like, we saw all the behind the scenes on how they made that. And man, it's so dope. It's so dope. Like, when you look at the puppets that they made, they're huge. They, you touch them, they're malleable. Like, they're not like rinky dinky stuff. Like, this is really like well made stuff. We have pictures. If you go on Twitter, we put some pictures already from the event, from our stuff. But when you see that video, and like, those puppets are big. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not a small thing that they're zooming in on. No, these are like really big figures, and they're just so cool. Those people, we thankfully we had a chance to interview them, so we will be posting that interview as well once the preview goes live. So we will have that as well. So they were really dope. You know, the studio who makes that short. But yeah, we got a chance to talk to the studio head of Compulsion, and we got to interview him, and we talked to, you know, Chris and Zaire, who is the writer and the music. So Chris is the music or the audio, head, and Zaire is one of the writers. And we got to, interview them and kind of really, dig deep on what they felt going into the project. Like it's a great interview. We'll have all that stuff going live, but just like the feeling of it, man, they decked out that place, that room. You walk in there and you felt like you were transported into South of Midnight. You know what I'm saying? Like they got the feel perfect. The mood was right. Everything was just so dope. It was really cool, man. It was really cool getting to meet all these people and just talking about the game, kind of chatting it up, meeting people from Xbox, meeting people from the team, meeting, obviously other content creators. There's people from, news outlets like The Verge and all these other stuff that were there.
Yeah.
So it was dope, man. It was really cool to be there. Really thankful that, we were invited. So it's really cool, man. We loved it. I loved it. I mean, I don't want to go too I want to talk about the stuff, but you gotta stop yourself because we can't really talk about.
Yeah,
things,
again, that like for me personally, one of the things that is very difficult to do is because I like to talk, which is why I have 5 shows a week, right? But it's like what I'm doing with Avowed, my time with South of Midnight. We're on the NDA. We can't speak about these things, but honestly, it's wanting to bust out of me, right? Like to kind of just talk about it, how excited we were, how excited we are to be a part of the process. I mean, again, this is one of those events that you walk in and you immediately tell that the team is a bit nervous, because the one thing that they did stress to us is we were actually the first people to get hands-on with the game that wasn't a part of the team. They got to understand how big of a deal that is for Compulsion Games. And you can tell how passionate they were about making it as authentic as possible, using real world lore to tell this story of Hazel, her mom, and everyone that you're going to meet during your journey. The characters themselves, the bosses. I think that one of the things that when you walked in, C Money really hit it on the head here. It felt like you were transported into Compulsion Games imagination. Like the sound, the music that's playing in the background was literally from the game. Like even like the chirps of the birds you heard in there, because they had this giant screen that was like a living it was like a living screen. And when the wind blew, you saw like branches moving. I don't know how they actually did it, but it was just an incredible experience. And again, tip of spear is getting a chance to not only hang out with my brothers, which of course is Cognito and King David. I got a chance to meet C Money and the missus, who I've worked with for over a year, and we've only ever talked either on the phone or through podcasting. And to meet in real life, that's the excitement. That's the exciting part of it. And like I said, I just can't wait for everyone to see our impressions, to get, some of the stuff that we recorded in the background, to get these interviews up. I'm not exactly sure how much of the gameplay we can actually use for the preview. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the one level that we were able to play, but I will get some confirmation. And of course, if I can use, I mean, they sent me home with footage to use. And that's the other thing, C Money. Like you come to these events and we're hanging out, we're having fun, but you're also working, right? You're working for your channel to deliver content that you hope people are going to tune into. And the one thing I have to give Microsoft a ridiculous amount of credit for, and I kind of want you to comment on this, is how accommodating they are, how welcoming they are to content creators, big and small. Because, Greg Miller, I mean, he's Greg Miller, for crying out loud. He created Kind of Funny Games. It's a multi-million-dollar thing that he has going on over there. And he was I was standing right next to him, and I have less than 16,000 subscribers. And I will say, to Greg's credit, he doesn't make you feel any smaller than than him. That dude was incredibly welcoming. I had a great time talking with him. I probably spoke to him for about 20 minutes. It was great. It was an unbelievable experience. But getting back to Microsoft, see, Money, they sent us home. Like, when we get there, they sit you down at the station. We're all playing on Series X consoles. We're not playing on PC. There were Series X consoles. And, Jeff comes over, Jeff Rubenstein, who is, obviously a big part of the PR for Xbox, comes over and sits us down and says, okay, here's the recorder, here's the memory card, stop. He tells you what to do. And they send you home with all your game footage. And on top of that, we find out just as we're leaving that, we're going to send it to your console through our program. You guys are on the list now. Now we're in it, C-Money. Now we are now in it because we're getting Avowed, we're getting South of Midnight sent right to the console. It's insane. Let's get. What are your thoughts on how accommodating Jeff and
No, they were wild. They were wild. Yeah, I didn't realize how hands-on they are with, like, they're like watching, like they're sitting there and they're like watching you play, and they'll come over and they'll say, hey, you need anything? They'll bring you water. They're like keeping you go. Like, they're super dope people, man. And they were accommodating. We didn't have to bring any of that stuff. Like, they supplied us with the card, with the SD card. They had a capture station there, so you're just playing the game and just recording, right? And then they're just sending it right home with you. It really was dope. And one of the dopest parts for us is that after the event, well, not the whole event, but like after that kind of first part where you do the gameplay, they, you were allowed to interview, right? Which is dope.
Yes.
But not just interview. So we did interview the other people right in that same room, the people who did the short. But Microsoft is so dope, and Jeff Rubenstein and all those people were so awesome to meet. They did a podcast there. Okay. They did a podcast upstairs, and they had it all set up for them. So the actual official Xbox podcast that you guys, I'm sure have seen, right? That they interview different, the devs. They do the show normally, but then they also do deep dives with devs, right? They had the room set up, and instead of just, taking it down, they actually let us use their official setup to go do the interview. So we interviewed the people right on the same setup, on the same stage that they did the show. So when you see official Xbox podcast for that particular I'm not going to say what they did, but for the one that they did, if you look at that background and that setup, we also did it. When you see our video, they did the whole recording, all the lights, the mics, everything. Is wild. They edited it. You know what I'm saying? They had a double camera setup. So, it was like, actually 3 cameras, because there was one facing them, one facing us, and then one facing everyone. Dude, it was sick, bro. It was so sick. I can't believe it. And we they sent us, they uploaded everything. So we have all the video. It's so dope. So dope. What an experience, man. It was very, very cool to kind of be able to get that access and check it out. Very exciting. And like you said, man, they sent the games. We had them right away. So, we were able to play that demo also just in the comfort of our home. So it's not just like there with people watching you. You go home and just hit that demo up, or do your own recording as well from there. So you can kind of do whatever you want to do. It's dope.